Hello, everyone, and welcome to Red Valkyrie Presents. I am Shae the Red, feeling rather patriotic today with my amazing co-host Cyborg Valkyrie. How are you doing, Cy?
I'm doing awesome. No spoilers. Is
No, there's okay. Seriously though,
yeah.
like look at what's behind Anthony.
You
I'm
could have
just saying.
you could have done the other one.
Okay, that is true. That is true. We are here with the absolutely amazing Anthony Sica. How are you doing, sir?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Nice.
Thank you for having
Good.
me on today.
I know. Oh my gosh! It seriously, Anthony. Have we've been trying this for like what, almost a year,
Yeah, well, we I've
something
been
like
on.
that.
I was on for Venerella 3, and but yeah, there's always some crisis going on, but
Yeah,
whatever.
I
I'm
feel
back.
I feel like I feel like we've tried specifically for Misty America. I don't know how many times, and it's
Yeah,
always been it hasn't lined up
it's
with
okay.
my schedule, your schedule. There's always been some kind of craziness happening. Me getting surgery, like emergencies in families. Just
It's
I don't
just
know, apocalypse.
yeah, life is busy making other plans for you, or life
Well,
happens when you're making other plans.
Life is what happens when you're busy making it. Yes.
Right.
that is very accurate. That is super accurate. All right, well, I am excited to have you on so we can get talking about this. Finally, it's only been a
Yeah.
bajillion years.
Yeah.
And I have something that I wanted to show you that has to do with the Venerella stuff.
Oh,
But in order to do that, we have to do a cosplay reveal first. So,
okay.
Sai,
Oh my God. Hold
uh,
on. I'm
I,
I'm, I'm doing it. Shut up. Shut up.
Sai's trying to.
Office is completed, sir.
Shae the Red.
Has now become
Awesome.
I
Ah,
I couldn't find forever ago, the first time we talked about having
yeah.
having you on with Misty America, I
Yeah.
got the top.
Yeah.
That top has completely disappeared from my closet. I have no idea where it is. So I was like, I have this, and
That works.
it's close
That
enough.
works.
It's good.
Red,
Look,
white, and
we're
blue.
still.
You got blonde tresses. You got a cowboy hat. It's funny too because in Misty America too, she didn't really sport the cowboy hat. So it's
I had to though because the first off, this wig is atrocious without the hat, and secondly, I just got this hat, and I'm like, I'm not at all a cowgirl, but I love it, and so I was like,
yeah,
I'm just gonna wear
yeah,
it.
it
I just like
works.
it.
Works great. Works great.
So before we move on to the actual campaign, I wanted to show you what I did for one of my auction winners.
Okay.
So I gave them a set when you gave me the multiple sets of the Venerella cards. I gave them a
Yeah.
set, and then I took my card and I did this really awesome
Very cool.
chromatic signature on it.
Very
And I've
cool.
only got two more sets of those left, and so I was like, it's gonna be it'll be worth something someday. Between
I'll send you some
Anthony,
more. That was a big hit. That was a big hit.
was it?
A lot of people, yeah, a lot of people received the cards that were like, wow, that was pretty cool. So
Oh, that's so neat. That makes me so happy.
yeah,
Yeah, I think there's only been a couple people who have done anything like that when I've done a cosplay for them. We've had Bilgers do
yeah,
an incredibly limited release cover.
yeah,
And by limited release, I mean Sai had one, I had one, he had one, and
yeah,
we auctioned one. So there's
yeah.
four total in
Well, I
existence.
might I might whip it out for a cover down the road, but she's got a new
I
hair.
mean,
She's got a new hairstyle though, so gotta go
well,
spoilers.
we did talk about the new hairstyle,
Yeah,
and we could probably make that work. We could probably do something
exactly,
with that.
exactly.
So this is what we're here for. Misty America number 3. We have tried for number 1 and we were unsuccessful. And then we tried for 2, we were unsuccessful. But damn it if we're not here for 3. And it's
Well, yeah,
happening.
and yeah, and I really need it for 3 too because I don't know. It's this campaign's been a dog for me so far. I mean, usually I'm over $1,000 at this point. Bordering on 1,200. But I launched the campaign between two major comic conventions in Central Florida
Ah,
where I live, which that probably wasn't smart. I mean, I launched it like 2 days before MegaCon, but
Nice.
there's a lot of folks in the West, California, Arizona, and then in the East, I had some people from the Pittsburgh, Philadelphia area who backed 1 and 2, but have not returned yet for 3. Now, with that said, I think there's 23 days left in the campaign. But it's been a little slow going. I think maybe I've never really launched books before tax returns. So that might be something about the comic buying audience out there. They might be out of money from Christmas or what have you. So I launched it actually on my birthday on February 5th, and I think that was bad timing. I just didn't really think about it. And there's a million comic skaters and a million indie publishers and a million other groups out there with their expensive campaigns and things like that.
Yeah.
The pie is only big enough for so many folks. However, I'm always hustling for my piece of the pie. You're looking at a page preview. I'm actually half done with the entire book. I'm planning on printing and shipping in May. And the thing is I had a personal tragedy a few years ago, which I don't need to go into, but that delayed one of my books. But since then, like in 2024, I released 3 indie books, and they were all delivered and well packaged. And I had little gifts and prints and posters and trading cards, as you well know, and things like that. And I'm a true indie creator. I don't have anybody working for me. I don't have anybody marketing, drawing, writing, lettering. The only thing that I don't do is the printing itself, but everything else, it's all me, and it's what I love to do. And what you're looking at is I have single issues on this campaign for $15, and then I have a bundle for $35 where you get 6. You're getting 6 comic books and 5 or 6 trading cards for free. And everybody gets that. You don't have to back different levels. Everybody gets it. So even if you bought one $15 comic book, I'm sending you 5 or 6 trading cards. So it is what it is.
That was really cool.
I was looking over this campaign and the different perks. I couldn't see where you talked about how many pages the number 3 is.
Well, number 3 is every issue of Misty is 24 pages. But to be honest with you, I was thinking of going 28 or 32. But I was also depending on how my funding went, and that's pretty much it. I think in one of my descriptions, my FAQ or whatever, I said something about how long is the book. Every issue, like Venerella's always been 32 pages. Misty's always been 24 pages. I can make it 28. I can make it 32. I can make it 36. I can make it 40 pages, but it just depends on, cash and funding. And right now it's either going to be 24 or 28 pages. I have both 24 and 28 laid out and scripted. I have to about finish maybe 11 pages, and then I'm done. So it'll be shipping in May, hell or high water, whether my funding sticks exactly as it is right now, or if I make a few hundred or a few $1,000s more, it's still going to be the same. So I'm committed to dropping a good story, and if anybody, which you guys have seen all my comics, they have a good cliffhanger at the end. Leave you hanging. You don't know where it's going, and it's always a surprise. That's just one of those things. If I'm watching a TV show, a movie, or any kind of series, periodical, comic book, indie comic book, even a big 2 image comic, whatever, I want the last page to be some sort of shocker, so I have to get the next one. And if anyone's backed me in the past, you issue 2 had a shock to it, issue 1 did also. So it's just a continuation of my storytelling about this character. In this issue on your screen right now, you see a character called Lady Seraph. Lady Seraph was a supernatural goddess, angel type character from my book, Oh My God, which was a precursor to all of my crowdfunding efforts. And in that book, Misty America was first introduced in one of the issues as a character. And in this issue, Lady Seraph, or her alias, which is simply Kira, she comes back into the story because I've had a lot of folks that used to buy my books at conventions, and they said, "Wow, we really love the characters in this prior book you did." And you know, it's my Wild Mercury universe, I guess. I like to kind of connect my characters if I can. I don't want to do them in an absurd way, but Misty did make her debut in this book, so I figured let me bring her back and introduce it to folks who have no idea about my previous work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got to say, I really love when you do your women with the short haircut and the kind of like almost faux hawk. It's one
Yeah.
of my favorite things. Like
Oh,
how,
cool.
you know, the change that you've done with Venerella, I think is really cool. And I like how she looks with it. I like this character. If
Thank
we
you.
get you on again, this is probably the next one that I'm going to have to cosplay.
Yeah,
Because,
very cool. Yeah, and you know,
it's just
and
a
I
fun
don't,
one.
and I don't do it for any reason other than I liked the aesthetic of the old indie comics when actually I liked even the aesthetic in Marvel when Storm first cut her hair
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the Mohawk to fight the Morlocks and become leader of that mutant gang and all. That was a thing, and I kind of like the whole Mohawk tank girl kind of look. And also, you know, let's face it. I mean, I love women with long, flowing hair too. But the thing is sometimes the Mohawk is easier to draw. So, you
That's
know.
fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Well, and I think that there's something different. Like when you have your standard character and she's got this long, flowy hair, like you've got
Yeah.
your Wonder Woman characters, you've got, you know, the original Storm where their hair is just long and flowy. It has that kind of delicate whatever.
Right.
And then when you take it like they did with Storm and you chop it, and now we've got this like crazy faux hawk, and she still has her eyes white out with the you know lightning bolts and everything. It changes it.
Yeah,
It goes from like she's somebody that might get a little angry and like zap you, and then it turns
Right.
into like, oh no, she's gonna destroy your entire
Yeah.
world. Like
And
that,
s-
she's a different level.
and some folks would say, you know, especially in the climate of very I don't know, closed-minded folks, they would say, "Oh, he's taking away some of the femininity." Not trying to do that. I'm just trying to make her badass, and also, I'm a fan of punk aesthetic, you know. So I kind of like that
Same.
that badass. We're gonna, you know, the Wendy O. Williams gonna kick your ass kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I was actually talking about this last night when we were talking on Regen about how I plan on chopping my hair like in a mohawk or at least a shave panel kind of thing. And somebody was like, "So what's the point of trying to shock people?" And I was like, "I'm not trying to shock anyone. I just really like that aesthetic, and I'm going someplace that I know people will be shocked because they are a little bit more sheltered and a little bit more closed-minded."
yeah, well, mine is also like the indies, like the indie comics when I was a kid that came out in the 80s and, you know, the early 90s. They all had punk aesthetic to them, and whether it was Love and Rockets or even Tank Girl, you know, that whole thing, that whole look where, you know, it's just you're badass and it's more functional kind of for fighting, because then the enemy, of course, can't grab your hair, you know.
Yeah, that, I mean, I think that's probably part of what gives the women with the shorter hair, kind of punky hair, a little bit more of that like badass aesthetic, is because you're like, oh, you've been in a few fights and realized that long hair is a disadvantage. Understood.
Yeah, exactly.
I did have one question. So on this one, where it's Misty's Angels, and is it staying silhouetted for this cover?
For the cover? Yeah, it is actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually staying like that because those three characters are, of course, Misty's on the left, the right is her sister, and the third is my Japanese character.
Okay.
And you know, Mitsuki. I had to think of her name for a minute. Mitsuki Yamada, who's the ninja. You know, and the sword, I know. You know, at first I had done, I really just wanted to do a fun silhouette, like a mud flap. I was doing like mud flap girl designs, kind of like you know, on the back of trucks, mud flaps. And instead of doing that, I did the three of them. And at first I had designed just where it was the torso up. You know, but then I did the full length, and I really, when I did it, I said, well, why don't I just put them in the Charlie's Angels pose? And, you know, the whole thing was one of them will die. I was going to have a headline under it, but then I decided not to. And also, Lady Seraph, her powers are angelic, and it's just I figured I'd just tie the Misty's Angels thing into it, and just I don't know.
I think it's fun. I really do, and
I'm a big fan of the original Charlie's Angels from the 70s.
Right.
So you know, being in my 50s, I grew up watching that. You know, even as a boy. Being enamored by Charlie's Angels also. So I just wanted to do I've always wanted to do a Charlie's Angels silhouette with a flame cover just for the hell of it, you know.
Well, and the thing is, a lot of times when people do silhouettes, the hardest part I think is making sure that your characters are kind of recognizable.
Right.
And while you have minimal detail, because I mean obviously it's a silhouette, I think that you have enough that people who have read your books and know your characters are like, I know exactly who these are. Like, I can tell you right now.
Yeah, and pretty much it's by hairstyle, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, but let's be real, it normally is with women. It's usually by our hair.
Exactly. Hey, there are some legendary artists who I have admired my whole life, like John Byrne and like Neil Adams and people like that. In reality, if you read their comic books, even though they're iconic comic legends, really the only difference between the characters is their hairstyles. They all look the same. The men and women all have the same face. They just got different hair or you know, other accessories. So, you know, that's really what's going on there. And again, not to diss legendary artists like that, but that's a thing, you know? And so I try and, you know, like with me, I tried to make I tried to make Misty and her sister Stacy, who are in the first two issues, I tried to kind of set them apart a little bit with hairstyle or the lengths of their nose or whatever. But at the same time, I'm a singular artist and I have a certain style. And also they're sisters in the book, so you know it was okay. So.
They got to look at least some. Well, okay, I say that, and then I think of me and my sister, but we're half sisters, so I think it's okay that we look very different.
So then scrolling down the thing as you're showing, I have a package for $35. As I stated before, you get all 6 issues, so 6 covers and 5 cards for $35. Oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I have some original art. That's a cover that you actually showed in your thumbnail.
Yeah.
I want to show everybody that these are what you're holding up there. That's an 11 by 17. This is the actual cover.
Wow. Okay. Look at that.
You know, the only detail that's missing is the stars on her bikini, just because I add that later.
That's very, very clean.
Yeah, but other than that, you know, this is the cover, and this is the full-on action cover of the whole squad coming at you. And you know, you can buy that cover autographed by me, and then you get the 6 comics, and you get the trading cards, and I think I have it including shipping too. So even though it looks steep at $200, you have to understand it's original art and it's one of one in the world. And it's
11 by 17 is a good size too. I think a lot of people don't remember how big that actually is.
Right, and it's my cover, and I'm just not boasting, but just stating that, you know, when you look at my comics, I'm not using 3D assets. I'm not using digital. I don't even use an iPad or any kind of, you know, drawing program. It's my hands. With pen and pencil on paper. The way
so you're not like what I did, not like hand turkey.
No, but no, I wish sometimes I do. But the thing is, no, it's there's no tracing involved. There's no light boxes involved. Everything you see on the paper is drawn from my brain or quick reference looks at or whatever, you know. But I'm an analog kid. In this digital world, everything I do is by hand. And, you know, and it's on 11 by 17, which is the way all comics were made in the old days. Yep. You know, you scan them or you photostat them in the old days, and you reduce them down to the size of a comic book. But, you know, and of course the ink and the details tighten as you reduce the size. That's the whole point. But everything is done by hand, and as you see, I include original art packages in my campaign. In fact, the next one, the wrestling one, has been purchased already. The next one that has been purchased already, and that looks something like I have it right here. Maybe no, that is I don't know where. Oh, here it is. So that's that cover. Okay,
Nice.
very simple pinup. Simple pinup, but still original artwork. And
Yeah.
and the thing is that the original artwork is one of one. Sometimes it takes me a day. Sometimes it takes me a few hours. Just depends on what I'm working on. And again, that's a piece of published history. And if some way I blow up somehow down the road, you can own a piece of original artwork. But
Blow
that
up in
one,
a
the
good
actual,
way.
the actual wrestling one is purchased already.
Yes, blow up in a good way, Alex. Thank
Yeah,
you for clarifying.
Yeah, and for those who are confused, well, especially with the next picture, Misty America's name is actually Misty Lee Warren, and the backstory is, which was explained in issue 1 and kind of alluded to in number 2, is that she was a professional wrestler, a professional female wrestler, and her wrestling ring name was Misty America. Then her sister was missing or killed in action in Afghanistan. She joined the military as kind of in honor of her sister, and she was then recruited by a special time traveling commando squad of the U.S. Army, and they used that as her code name. Since she didn't wear a mask and she was visibly the same person, they just figured, well, the name that she used as a wrestler stuck. So, but in issue 3, we get a little glimpse into past episodes of her life, and that is actually the splash page 1 of issue number 3. So
Nice. I like this outfit design that you have here. I think that I'm a wrestling fan. I have been for a couple of years, and that is 100% something that I would see, like, what was her name? Becky Lynch. I could see like wearing something in the same kind of cut. Obviously, it would have to be Irish colors and like a giant shamrock on her tits, but it's really it's a really classic kind of female wrestler style, and I think it's cool.
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, in addition to the WWE divas in the 90s, and of course the modern wrestlers like the Man, who you just mentioned, and all the Charlotte Flair and all those folks. I used to watch Glow, which was gorgeous ladies wrestling.
Yes,
and
Glow.
when I watched. And I watched Glow when Glow first came on in like 1987, and the thing is that you could be real sexy, but you still needed functional outfits. So and also, with Misty's wrestling outfit there, I have a little kind of homage to Wonder Woman too, with the, as you can see, these stripes going down, and then. To be honest with you, the star boob window that I have going on in that, to be honest with you, I'm not really familiar with the comic, Common America or whatever. I'm not familiar with that company or whatever, but I did notice that their character has a star on the boob like that. That is totally, if any of their lawyers or fans are watching, that is totally coincidental. It was not really intentional. I just kind of wanted to make a Power Girl boob window, so I put a star there. So that was pretty much it. So
nice.
Dennis Rodriguez asked about international stuff. Yeah, please hit me up on Twitter, um, at Anthony Sica, or on Instagram or anywhere, and just talk to me about that. I've been burnt by several campaigns shipping to like Hungary and Austria. Like really,
Mm.
yeah, it really cost me a lot. So that's the only reason I don't have international stuff on there. But again, talk to me one on one, and I can always we could always work out something with PayPal or eBay or whatever. Okay. So
Yeah.
Dennis, please get with me.
And Dennis, thank you for the €5. We appreciate it. It's very nice of you. Avex is saying Glow was a funny show. Are you talking about the when they did the homage to it, where it was not Glow, but like the new Glow talking about the old Glow? Because
Yeah,
that
there
was
was a
funny.
Yeah.
But
there
Glow
was
was
a
a
Netflix
thing.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the original from the '80s was pretty funny too. So
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was very
It was.
schmaltzy. I have a friend of mine who was Hollywood, the wrestler Hollywood from the original
Oh.
Glow. She's worked some conventions with me. Her name's Jeannie Besson, and
Oh. Okay.
I've actually done some interviews with her in the past and things like that. So
That's really cool. That's
yeah,
really cool. Yeah, seeing where female wrestlers kind of got their start and all of the crap that they had to put up with
sure.
way early. It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
nuts. So that's really cool.
In
I
fact,
do really like this
I'm
homage piece.
interested in catching that new flick. I think it's called Queen of the Ring or something. It's a brand new movie about uh, female wrestlers in the 40s or 50s or something. So it's really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex and I got addicted to watching Fighting with My Family.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, so good. It's
yeah.
so good. And like it was so funny because we loved it and we didn't even know at the time that it was Florence Pugh that was in it, and she's like one
Right,
of our
right, right.
favorite
Yeah, yeah.
actresses. And so I was just like, why do I like? I just love this so much. It was just so well done. Paige was also one of my favorite wrestlers
Sure.
until she was led astray, and then made some bad choices.
Yeah, you
Ended
could
up
say that.
gone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that it's I really like how you laid out this
Thanks.
cover. I think that it's
Yeah.
a really fun one.
Yeah, and then I have the page two right there has actual some fighting action, and of course she's fighting with a kind of short-haired, more maybe Marxist communist type of thing, and again me using the Rocky Drago, Liberty Bell, the Russian
Yep.
opponent in Glow, which by the way was in the original Glow. They had your American characters, and then they had the patriotic characters, and then they had a couple of like communists,
Communist
or they
Russia,
were
yeah.
they were terrorists. They wore like you know uh, you know chic outfits and things like that,
Yeah.
because that was the political landscape at the time. And in my book, I'm not a. It's all about that too, because Misty's constantly going back in time where things weren't politically incorrect, or we were fighting terrorists or Nazis or whatever. So it's real. And again, that's me being 50 plus years old, growing up with all those Rambo movies, and the old comic books that really painted the commies or Japs or Nazis as enemies in every issue. So but
Yeah.
as an American, it's fun to do comics like that.
Well, and it's interesting to see how much the like kind of old school style has influenced you
Yeah,
throughout not just like your art style, but like your storytelling and
yeah,
the plot lines that you're choosing to follow and stuff. It's
sure.
interesting to see. It's kind of like a slice of nostalgia.
Right. And I'm not really trying to do that. What I'm trying to do is it's selfishly my own nostalgia, because the thing is that um I there's enough modern topical whatever stuff out there, both in the majors and in indie comics. I'm trying to give you something that make doesn't swipe old ideas, but at least tells familiar ones, and that's kind of what it's about. So with me, when I try and tell a story, it's about, well, if I grew up watching this or reading this or being inspired by this is where I'm going, so.
Yeah. All right, we've got still this one. Okay, she looks a little worse for wear. What happened here?
Well, let's just say she's in the middle of the book. I think that's page 18 or something, and she's kind of in a fight. Here's what the actual artwork looks like. It's the same exact thing as what you're looking at, but she just got blasted in a
Put
fight
through a wall.
Yeah, well, no, those are columns. She's in kind of a let's say a ritualistic situation.
Oh, geez.
Somewhere in a Colosseum type place in Italy.
That's very unfortunate for
her.
her.
You have to read the rest of the story to find out what's going on, but that's kind of later in the tale. She's been bruised and battered and beaten and blown to bits. Just keep going, just like us this month. We're going to keep going, no matter how many hits we take. Right?
We're just going to keep moving forward. It's going to be a thing.
Yeah, Apex Comics, how you doing? Apex Comics in the chat saying that I drew an Apex Comics poster with some of my IP characters on 11x17. It's on my Fembat Volume 1 campaign on Fund My Comic. Apex, asked me to draw some of his characters, and I kind of made a poster for him on 11x17, just like what I just showed you. And it features all his characters, or at least 5 of them, I think, and they're kind of coming at you in the very style of my action shot. They're all flying at you. It's an old kind of George Perez, John Byrne, Marvel team coming at you, and that's kind of what I like doing. And again, even you'll see in a lot of my books, I put the old, the vintage style mastheads. I'll rip off, I'll swipe Marvel and put some of their old style mastheads, just because I grew up in the 70s, and I think I think people like seeing that. It's like DC Comics bringing their old 70s bullet back as a logo, which, by the way, in my new issue of Misty America, I actually swiped their logo with the bullet logo, but I put WM in it for Wild Mercury Comics. So, I like vintage stuff. I like old school stuff. I like OG stuff, and I think it's worthwhile being nostalgic.
I think Shae hit the back button.
Yeah, I think Shae went bye-bye. There she is.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Fucking mouse. It has a quick reference back button, and I have a bad habit of hitting it.
All good.
It's fine. I'm back.
So as you can see, that actual cover A, I'm actually paying homage to like old Sergeant Rock covers from DC. So.
Very cool.
And then if you missed an issue, for only $10, you can get issue 1 and 2 of Misty America.
That's really awesome.
And Shae and Cyborg would love to play my trailer, but my trailer has some copyrighted music, which is allowable in the United States, but it's so crazy that my trailer features music from my band, and I can't play it. So,
yeah. So you guys are gonna have to go and check out the campaign to see the trailer, which we recommend you go do. You should absolutely go do that. And hey, while you're there, maybe you just back it, because you're already there. You already did all the work. Yeah. You already got there. You might as well just back it, watch the trailer, enjoy yourself, have a good day. Would be a good way to kick off your weekend on a Saturday.
That is.
Sai, do you have any questions? Any other questions you want to bring up?
No, looking through this campaign, my only question was about the book size, and that's been answered. So really cool.
I definitely think it's a lot of fun. It's very much a vintage feel with your storyline, so it's fun to see kind of the throwback. This number, We need to change that. That needs to be a different number. That needs to be a higher number.
I
It would
agree.
be very nice to see that go up some. So we've got 22 days left. You heard the man. He said, "Come hell or high water, it's fulfilling in May." But if we can get that up a little higher, you might get a couple extra pages out of it, and
Yeah, then you might get some treats. You might get an extra trading card here and there. What have you?
There's so much. And the thing is, Anthony does really fun trading cards, like he did on his Venerella campaign, where you have this whole thing, and there's, oh goodness, what's this? There's, oh, look at that. I'm just saying, there's really cool things that he does, and they're all very good quality. They have a lot of awesome information for you on the back too, all numbered, so you get to see what they all are. The more the merrier with those. I'm just saying, like, it's fun to look at. It's like little tiny snapshots of cover art and things like that are just really fun to kind of read all of the backgrounds on. So let's see if we can't get that number to go up a little bit higher than where it is. And maybe we can get some extra goodies and, get ready for Misty America 4.
Yes.
Just saying. Is there any other things that you want to make sure everybody knows before we wrap? It's a little bit of a shorter one, but we covered everything very efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, no, I just want these folks to know, if you don't know who I am, please check out the campaign. You can catch up. You can back. You can back the new issue. You can pick up copies of issue number 2.
Nice.
All right. You can pick up copies of issue number 1. All right. And realize also that if you're into comics, you're into indie comics, and you want to read some comics with truly an indie aesthetic, a true 90s indie aesthetic as far as the artwork goes and the writing, I'm an indie creator. I write it, I create it, I draw it, I pencil and ink it, I letter it, and I publish it all myself. Wild Mercury Comics. I go
Blood,
work.
Sweat, and Tears of Anthony.
I go work conventions, mostly in Florida, every chance I can. And then also, you'll see me on Twitter or Instagram, bragging that I have my books in stores also. But what it is after I crowdfund, whatever I have left, after I've fulfilled all my backers, then I might put some in some Central Florida comic book stores, because I'm on the road. I'm doing conventions, and
Right.
and I might work a free comic book day, and I'll bring them out there. But the difference is, no one on the road, whether they're at a convention or at a comic book store, can get my trading cards or
Nope.
special exclusive prints and all that. So the thing is, I do distribute some of my leftover inventory to comic book shops that I frequent or want to get my wares out there. But truly, it is all through crowdfunding. No one gets those cards that she's holding for Venerella, other than backers. And also, if you've backed my books, you'll see a thank you page on most of my books where your name is listed in the book. I'm not trying to dox anyone online or anything like that, but I do proudly give thanks to supporters, backers, friends, internet buddies, YouTube pals, X friends, and I mean Twitter X, not former, Facebook peeps, all that stuff. And you know what? I try and keep every creative thing I do drama free. I know that drama is a big factor in selling comics these days or whatever, but
Not around these parts.
but my whole thing is that I like, what's funny is I like listening to drama on YouTube podcasts. I won't lie. I think it's entertaining. But when it comes to my work, I just want to make comic books, and I just want people to enjoy them. You see, the thing is too is, and again, I'm going to say this really strangely, and I know this might come off like drama, but it's not. I don't understand people that just collect comics just to say they back comics, or they say, like, I love this person, so I'm going to buy all their comics, or Or I really like that cover. And then they buy the comic and I ask them, so how'd you like the story? And they're like, I don't know. I just bought the cover, you know, or people that CGC and slab everything they buy. They never read it. They never look at it. They don't know if it's blank inside. I just want people, if you're into really reading comics and really reading stories and looking at artwork and really appreciating how comics, and again, I don't want to sound like an old guy on the lawn, but how comics used to be, where it was about characters and stories and stuff, then you might be interested in backing some of my comics, because my comics are meant to be read. I don't care if you rip up the pages. I don't care if you read them and line your birdcage with them, but I want you to read them at least once. And again, I tell everybody, my big plug, my big pitch. I write comics, so if I got to take a long shit, I got something to read on the toilet.
Oh my God.
And if it's so verbose that you can't finish a 32 page on a toilet, then you're writing too much or you're going too deep. Comic books are supposed to be escapism and fun. And if you like looking at boobies and big hair, my comics are good, you know. And the thing is, but they're also pretty cool. And you know, and I put my blood, sweat, and tears into them because I have to be creative. And the truth of the matter is, if I'm successful business wise with them, that's gravy. But to be honest with you, I do them because I love creating stories. I love writing. And, you know, I love, whether it's songwriting or creating comic books or whatever, I have to stay creative to be grounded in my life. So the thing is you should always support folks like myself, because we're kind of doing it from art first and business later. And that is truly the way creators should be. And again, it's not being pretentious, it's being sincere, is that I think that folks should back indie creators who are very interested in being creative, you know, being creative, and everybody else, you know, that's their thing. But I'm truly an indie comic. There's a lot of people out there that say they're indie, but they're not really indie. And that's my opinion. But, you know, I mean, I'm truly independent. I don't need a paycheck to make these comics. I'm going to make them regardless. You know what I mean?
That is awesome.
And if
yeah,
I have
so when
to
you're
and if I have to pay for myself and sell them out of the back of my car, which is a good story, is that's how I used to do it before I did crowdfunding. That's what it's about with me. And I think everyone should be at that level, ground level. You know, this is my 11th book too. This is the 11th book I've done. And I haven't been drawing long in my life, but I have been writing, you know, for many, many, many years. And that's my pitch. You know, if you want a good, with Misty America 3, if you want a story about a blonde bombshell, gun-toting, super-powered, time-traveling commando who's now trying to save her sister and her commando unit and the future, then pick up
she's a busy gal.
Misty America 3 on IndieGoGo for the next 23 days. All right?
Yes.
23 days. And tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad.
Tell your mom's friends.
Tell your mom's friends. Tell your mom's boyfriend or girlfriend. Tell them pick up.
Y'all are about to get tax money. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
Everybody's about to get their tax returns. Go put it to good use.
Yeah.
Go and do something good with it.
As I said, support America, Misty America.
Absolutely.
Grace.
Well, thank you so much, Anthony, for coming hanging out with us yet again. It's always a pleasure. This was really fun. And of course, as always, thank you to my co-host, Cyborg Valkyrie, for all that you do behind the scenes to make this possible.
Thank you.
And
You are very welcome.
all of you wonderful people watching, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our Valkyrie. Go ring the bell so you don't miss a single time that we stream, especially since recently it's been kind of spotty.
Shout out to Gordon Goodbrother. Thank you.
Gordon's good peeps. We like him. So everyone go check out Misty America. It's pinned in the chat. It is in the description. Go follow Anthony. All of his socials are also in the description. And we will be seeing you guys later. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.